What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and today I wanted to take a look at a smartphone that started this entire smartphone bezel-free business. So this is the successor to the original Mi Mix, the Mi Mix 2, which currently holds the world's highest screen-to-body ratio. It should be better than the original, supposedly, in every way. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'm very excited to see how it's evolved since the original. And really, everything has changed since this smartphone has come out. I mean, people really saw that it was possible to do this whole no bezel thing, and ever since then, every company has been following suit. Guys, I just wanted to say that what happened in Las Vegas, I truly am sorry. I feel for everybody involved in that situation. I mean, that is so goddamn awful, and I hope everyone can recover somewhat, get a piece of their old life back after that. It's just so terrible. Anyone that was affected by the tragedy. So just wanted to acknowledge that, guys. It's terrible. I mean, it could have happened to anyone, you, me, friends, or family. And honestly, I've been so affected by that. So I hope everyone can regain a piece of their old life back after something so terrible happening to them. Alrighty, so here we are. Let's get to unboxing. Now, this is the original here. Still looks incredibly futuristic for what it is. You have these corners, the screen wraps all the way into them. It seriously looks awesome. And if this one can come close to this one and surpass it, that's even better. Now, the flaws of this one. Now, originally the camera location, which that one I don't believe fixed in any way, is down here. The no speaker setup. The call quality can get a little grainy sometimes because it's using a bone conducting technology, vibrations, not an actual earpiece. The design, once it cracks, is incredibly hard to replace, incredibly costly too. But overall, it was a pretty solid phone. The software too was a big negative. So let's see if this one addressed any of those things. I just know that it is the highest screen to body ratio right now. It's got an 83.2% screen to body ratio. The iPhone 10 has an 82.9, so a little bit behind. All right, here we go. And packaging, packaging's all right. I think Apple definitely one-upped them on that one, but if I can get it open. Okay, got some Chinese writing. I believe I can't really read that, but it seems to be a thank you for buying type of deal. Cool. And here it is. So we got the charging cable, USB-C, and the device itself. So let's take a look. Wow, it is light, it is thinner, it is smaller, that is for certain. And here it is. So it's got a curvature now, very similar to the iPhones on the sides. The glass blends very seamlessly, I like that. On the back, we've got an incredibly mirrored finish here. Let me take this sticker off. And mix designed by Xiaomi. So very, very reminiscent of the old one here, as you can see. Sorry for all the fingerprints. Ceramic doesn't bode well when competing with fingerprints. On the back, otherwise, we've got a very similar design. The camera protrudes a little now, where it didn't before. And as you can see, it is significantly smaller now. So thickness, tallness, width, everything. It is much smaller of a device now, so that's cool. Headphone jack is now missing, so there's no longer a headphone jack on the device. So for some, it could probably be a negative. Got USB-C as did on the original, speaker ports, everything. All right, so let's power it on and check out that display, the star of the show, because honestly, probably no one else really cares about anything else. We do have a chin now. It is a little bit smaller, but the screen is not as wide, not as tall, making this a little bit less impressive of a feat. And honestly, this thing has even more bezels on the edges if you really take a look than the old one, up top especially, which is very interesting because it was advertised a little bit differently. If I remember, the advertisements looked a lot more futuristic than this one does in person. What's cool is how they hid the bezel, the little chin up there for the earpiece. Very similar to how they did it on the Essential smartphone, but that one was a little sleeker than this. Although it feels pretty good. It's nice to have a huge display on a device so small. And the day when we see full tablet, just complete screen, that is awesome. That is a Johnny Ive's vision, I believe, at Apple. Eventually, we'll get to that. All right, let me set this up and I will be right back. All right, so after setting it up, this definitely is a much more comfortable device to actually use versus the original. As you can see, it is much smaller, fits in the palm of your hand much better. And this leads me to believe that the iPhone 10 will be an incredibly comfortable device, as it fits very similar to this one. You get so much screen, but a lot of comfort there as well. iPhone definitely doesn't look as high-tech as this one, but in some ways even better as it doesn't have a chin on the bottom and the cameras are actually located up top in a very comfortable manner. So how is it like actually using this thing? So first off, the video looks pretty good. I did check that out a little bit. 16:9 aspect ratio means you don't really get any cropping except little tiny corners on the edge. And overall using it, it's very well built. The software has definitely gotten a little bit better. I hate how big and blown up it was on the original. So hard to reach for anything with that massive display as well. The cameras, let's go ahead and take a look at that. So the rear camera is here and it tells you to rotate your phone instantly. So just like that. And then you get the selfie mode here, and same with the original. So that is a drawback. You're gonna have to pick your phone up every single time just to use the selfie mode, which would get pretty annoying for me. And I mean pick it up, I mean turn it around upside down, which is quite annoying. So other than that, pretty cool software, I guess, is a little bit better actually using it. It's just this is a Chinese version. It doesn't even come with the Play Store, as it's not really meant to be used in America. You'd have to reflash it. Settings pretty clean. Overall, pretty cool Android phone, but using it in America, again, going to be very difficult without a Play Store. And I believe the bands themselves, you'd have to check which ones would work with your network. Screen, man, false advertising, I believe. Honestly, it doesn't look near as good as it did in the commercials, in the pictures, but still pretty cool, pretty sharp. So I did manage to download Geekbench. Let's go ahead and see, compared to the original, what kind of a score we can get here just to see how powerful this thing is. Alrighty, and here we are for the Mi Mix original, and the new one gets a slightly higher multi-core score while a slightly lower single-core score appears to be the case here. What? How does that even make sense? But this was one of the first devices with the Snapdragon 821 processor. This has the new Snapdragon 835, which is the best that Android has to offer right now. So overall, what can be expected from that processor? Now, in a reference point to the new iPhone 8 Plus, over double the single core score and double the multi-core score almost. That is insane, simply crazy coming from Apple. On top of the game here with the benchmarks. So there is the Geekbench. A couple other things I wanted to mention, the fingerprint speed. So let's go ahead and see how much faster it is on the new one, if it is at all. All right, so with the phones locked, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Oh wow, identical here. 3, 2, 1. Definitely the same sensor. Don't see any improvements there. Let's try with the screen on. 1, 2, 3. Cool that they have like no unlock animation. Saves you a lot of time getting into the phone. So animations are the same. They're very, very similar phones. Really not enough to set them apart. But let's see the camera quality, see if it's any better. All right, so here it is. The Mi Mix 2 has a little bit of trouble focusing here so far. And I'm gonna try and do a little motion blur for you guys. See how that looks, some light in the background. And I mean, both look all right. The Mi Mix never was a looker. These are both in 4K, by the way. So stabilization wise, not able to follow on 4K, but I'm gonna drop it to 1080p right now and give you a better look. This is just quality for now. I think you can definitely make out more detail on the new one. Pretty cool. So it's not as grainy, it's a little sharper looking. Let's try 1080p stabilization. All right, and with digital stabilization, let's take a look here. Wow, that's a world of difference. Mi Mix 2 definitely looks way better here. So with some walking, not as jittery, much more stable. I'm liking that. Man, these things look so futuristic in the camera app. I love it. All right, so there's the camera quality. All right, just want to do a quick audio test here, see which one of these is louder, sounds better. Been listening to it for a little while, and wow, the iPhone speakers really have spoiled me. The new stereo speakers are incredible, and these, even on the new one, don't really sound that great. So let's go ahead and get a reading here. So got a reading of 97.3 decibels, and just quality-wise, it doesn't sound that great. On the original, let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh, that sounds so terrible. I cannot believe how bad that quality is, and it's really quiet too. So definitely an improvement in the speakers, but that's not saying much compared to the iPhone. And something that was a little disappointing is that the display is actually quite dim. On the same brightness settings, it actually appears a little dimmer than the original. So for a organic LED display, that is a little disappointing, and that worries me about the iPhone X because it also has a pretty dim one according to most smartphone standards with organic LED displays at 625 nits. So hopefully that one looks a little bit better than this, but the brightness really isn't that great. All right, guys, there it is. That is the Mi Mix 2. Definitely an improvement over the original, but we're gonna have to see how it compares to the iPhone X. As a standalone device, it's impressive. The display looks good, feels great in the palm of your hand. The software sucks, seriously, like bad. I really wish it was running a stock version and was compatible with carriers here in America. Would make a pretty capable device, but in competition with a lot of the new bezel-less smartphones, it's not as special as it used to be, that's for sure. Displays definitely aren't as bezel-less as the original even, which is kind of crazy to say for a second generation device. But overall, pretty cool. Just a quick look at this device, seeing what it's capable of. Certainly could be a lot more capable of more, that's for sure. Anyways, thanks for watching. That is the world's biggest screen-to-body ratio smartphone currently. We'll have to see what beats the record here, but it's pretty cool. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Peace.